Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming Podcast. Today is the 23rd March of 2019. My name is Kralizec and I will be one of your two hosts for the evening. The second is Tygergamer. Hello Tiger. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
I'm doing rather well today. Today was a good day. I didn't have to do pretty much anything. I got to see Captain Marvel today, so yeah.
Huh. How was it?
It wasn't the best of the Marvel movies, but it was okay. It was entertaining. I would have appreciated a bit more action. Like, a bit more action scenes, but, you know. I think they're getting ready for the Marvel universe after Endgame, so...
That's definitely.
So there was a bit more exposition than I would have personally hoped for, but what can you do?
Yeah.
So, what do you say? Well, let's talk about games.
Alright, let's do it.
So, tell me, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I got to play two games this week. The first game is SteamWorld Dig 2.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess that this game is probably about digging.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes place in I would say it's like a steampunk western where instead of there being people roaming around, there are machines. You play as a machine who has to go and look for her missing friend, who was the main character of the previous SteamWorld Dig, and you gotta make your way to the bottom of the mine while also collecting ore to take it back up to the town so you can upgrade your character even further. And you also get your Metroidvania upgrades as well here and there.
Yeah, from what I'm looking at, it sort of looks to me like a combination of Metroidvania and Bomberman.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good person, except in this game you cannot dig up, you can only dig down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So far that's what I found out. So like earlier on you get like you start with wall jumping and all that. And the first thing I tried was trying to mine some ore that was like on this high point, but I couldn't get to it, so you gotta find a way to dig around trying to get up there.
Yeah, so that actually sounds cool.
Yeah. But yeah, though, for the most part, I've been playing this for a few hours now, and I've been really enjoying it. I got this on sale for like $7, so it's originally like $15. But yeah, SteamWorld Dig 2. Even though it's an old game, yeah, it's a real fun game to try out if you like these types of games.
Yeah, I can see that. The only thing I would ask is that, like, right now I see it's at $20. Do you think it's worth 20? Yeah, on Steam. Do you think it's worth $20?
Oh, like I said, I got it on sale for like $7, so.
But would you pay $20 for it?
Honestly, for the amount of content that you're getting out of this game, like I'm only like a few hours in, and there's still like a whole lot of stuff I still haven't explored yet. So, yeah, I would say it's worth $20.
Okay. Okay, so I myself got to play only one single game, but I played a ton of it because I just fell in love with it. And it's really not a genre I would play normally. I don't even think this is like a defined genre. On Steam is defined as strategy. But the game in question is called We the Revolution. And what it is, is a judge simulator.
Huh.
During the French Revolution.
Wow.
Yeah, doesn't that sound like an insanely strange concept?
Yeah, it does, but it also sounds very, very interesting too.
Yeah, so and the game is actually put into few interesting perspectives. So you play as this judge, and yeah, there are essentially two parts of the gameplay that are somewhat separate, though obviously interconnected in other ways. But on one hand, you're a judge, and you get presented cases. You get to interview the witnesses, the victims, the accused, and you need to listen to them, ask them questions, assess it, and try to figure out whether they're guilty or not. But that's not all. There are also factions that you need to take into consideration here. And these factions, they can either have positive, negative, or downright game-ending influences on you. So the first sort of faction is your family. And your family is sort of not happy with you if you decide to stay working late, or you go out with friends to play some cards instead of spending the evening with them. And if you don't do those things, it actually has some negatives on you because, for example, if your wife is happy with you, you get reputation bonuses. But if she's not, well, you get jack shit, and it even goes into negatives.
Huh. Your wife is snitching on you or causing rumors about you.
Yeah. But secondly, there's the common folk. And yeah, again, if they like you, you get a bunch of positives. But if they really don't like you, there's just a chance that you will just die. Because it's during the revolution, and if they don't like you, well, they're just gonna take their pitchforks and murder you.
Okay, I have a question about that. If you get killed by the
I never got killed by them.
I was gonna say, do you get to see the execution of yourself?
I'm betting there's gonna be some kind of cutscene or image or something, but I try to play games to win.
Yeah.
But then there's the third faction, that's the revolutionaries, and if those aren't happy with you, they can just take away your office as a judge, so no more game for you again. And you need to keep all of these factions in balance by giving them what they want to hear when you're at a trial. So, for example, there could be a guy who's really famous for. There was this one guy who was really famous for killing one of the bourgeois people, and the common folk loved him, and he was accused of rape. So you had to okay, so and there was good evidence for him raping, actually. But if you send him to jail, the common folk is not going to like you. They're going to think you're in line with the bourgeoisie.
Huh.
And you need to keep everything balanced. Sometimes the revolutionaries will want a different verdict than the common folk. So ideally you want to keep everybody happy, but obviously, how that works just in real life, and it works as well here in this game. And I fucking love it. It introduces a mechanic, well, not even a mechanic, more of a story element that you don't get to see very often in gaming, and that's how would you behave in a situation where you could die?
Yeah.
If you had power, and this guy, he's a judge, he has pretty serious power. You can just say, oh, he did it, he's gonna get killed by the guillotine. But maybe I shouldn't, because if I do that, I will go to the guillotine as well. What would
Also,
you do in that situation? And that's
well,
not a
first
question.
off,
That's not a question posed very often by games.
yeah. Speaking of guillotine, do you actually get to sentence people to the guillotine?
You do. You do get to sentence them to the guillotine.
Ah.
Not during the first missions. The first few missions, you only get to send them to jail. But you can actually send them to the guillotine. On top of that, the game is presented in a wonderful visual style. It's sort of a combination of hand-drawn and low polygonal.
Huh.
Which looks really cool. And when I first saw this, I was like, man, this sounds like, it looks cool. The concept is interesting, but will it work? And it actually does work really well. There's like this little mini game during each trial where you first read the evidence, like the case, what's in it. Then you click the witness, and you need to unlock all the questions, or as many as you can, because those actually give you ability to influence the jury, so you can ask questions that either make the jury like him, making it, more likely he's going to get suggested an acquittal, or dislike him, so, he will just be fucked. And yeah, this is a game, I think, to anybody who likes anything about history. Yeah. This is something I can highly suggest. It's not something you get to see every day. And the story is presented in sort of a comic book way with little animations. Like, if you had animations instead of just pictures in a comic book. And there's plenty of the story here, both in terms of the history, both in terms of the personal relations with your family. Yeah, great game. It's coming from Polyslash, which I honestly never heard of before. And it's currently available for $17.99, but normally it's going to be $20. And yeah, just be a judge and try not to get killed.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you the same question that you asked me earlier. Is this game worth $20?
Yeah, this one definitely is, because there's tons of content in it. It looks cool, and it introduces something that we don't really get to see very often in gaming.
Yeah.
So yeah, the revolution. $20 on Steam.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Anything else you got to play this week?
Yeah, the last game I had to play is called Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Oh.
And yeah, this is a pretty old game, but I finally decided to pick it up because I got this game on sale too. So, but yeah, it's pretty much a roguelike rhythm game.
Yeah, that seems weird just as you say it.
Yeah, roguelike rhythm game. Yeah, that does sound weird. You pretty much gotta make your way to the bottom of the crypt while also sticking to the beat of the soundtrack. And the enemies, they also move to the beat of the soundtrack as well. And the backstory behind the reason why that happened is the character that you play as, she falls into the crypt of the Necrodancer. When she falls down there, the Necrodancer freaking takes her heart and makes it beat to the music. So, and if you don't move to the beat, you'll be able to move for at least another beat. And you gotta keep track of where the enemies move and all that, so that way you don't get hit. Because once you die, you go back to the lobby and you have to start the zone all over again.
Yeah. But yeah, this game, everybody knows is great.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure there's a reason why you decided to pick this one, and I'm pretty sure I know the reason.
Yeah, and that's the reason, because they this past week they announced Cadence of Hyrule, which is a crossover between Crypto the Necrodancer and Zelda. So
Yeah, and that sounds even more weird than anything I ever heard, I think.
yeah, what's even weirder, and and this is actually bigger than most people think it is, but I mean, come on, Nintendo's actually letting an indie studio use their IP.
Yeah, like in
Indie studio.
probably forever.
Yeah, that's just amazing. But yeah, the Crypto Necrodancer, if you haven't tried it out yet, you can get it for $15. If you go right now into the PlayStation Store, you can actually get it for like $3. So
Yeah, it's really cheap. It's quite an old game. Let's face that. It's not really gonna be expensive. It's $15 on Steam right now. But yeah, you can just wait for any sale and it's gonna be on sale pretty much.
yeah.
I don't know if this works on the PlayStation, but can you add your own music on PlayStation?
Unfortunately, no. I wish I could though.
You can do that on the PC.
Of course you can.
Yeah, because our computers can do stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely first try it out with their in-game music. But yeah, you can also play with your own MP3s, and that's a great idea to do as well.
Yeah.
So, anything else you played this week?
No, that's it for me.
Okay, then it's time to talk about the news. And let's quickly do PlayStation stuff, and then let's talk about this week's. Oh, pretty much only topic. But let's first do quickly PlayStation stuff. So we have 2 patents filed by Sony that were discovered this week. First was filed by, what's his name? I forgot his name. Where do I have it? Yeah, by one of the lead PS4 designers. Where the fuck is
Mark Cerny.
Yeah, Mark Cerny. And it has a great name. It has a very short name. Backward compatibility by algorithm matching, disabling features or throttling performance. Which, well, if you don't know anything about computers, might be like, that's just an assortment of random words. But if you do know anything about computers, that tells you everything you need to hear. Just the first 2 words. Backward compatibility.
Yes.
So people are speculating that this could maybe be something that's coming towards the PlayStation 5. And honestly, I think that may be a good bet.
Yeah.
But obviously there are more questions than just, is it backwards compatible? I think the biggest one is, how far would it be backwards compatible? So yeah, we did have also some other rumors about backwards compatibility that would obviously support the PS4, PS3, maybe even PS2 and PS1. But I personally think it's going to go to maybe the PS3. I don't think it's going to go further back than that.
Honestly, my point on this is, if it does go back to the PS3, then I don't see why it cannot go back to PS2 and PS1, because on the PS3, like, my ideal backwards compatibility is, like, I have all my games digitally on the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love it if they would just allow me to bring my digital purchases from the PS4 to the PS5. And also, on the PS3, they actually had backwards compatible games on the PS Store for like PS1 and PS2. They just about had like a crap ton of games for those 2 systems that if they wanted to, they could just bring those games that they had on the PS4 for the PS3 over to the PS5 PS Store.
Yeah, and I think the problem there with the PS1 and 2 could be the hardware difference is getting too big.
True.
Though, I think, not through this particular technology that has been patented here, but through an emulator that could be done. Because, let's face it, the PS5 is likely gonna have enough power to emulate a PS1, and very likely even a PS2, without much of a hurdle in anybody's case. But for PS3 there, I think they could probably do it for the majority of the games. Maybe for some they could have issues. For the PS4, emulating the system would probably get too resource intensive. So I think this particular patent is there for PS3 and PS4. And if they do have backwards compatibility with PS1 and 2, it's going to be done through emulation.
Yeah. Well, the way I see it, though, since this is from Mark Cerny, who actually helped design the architecture for the PS4, it's safe to assume that the PS5, which has been an upgraded version of the PS4, so to that, I think emulating, like bringing the PS4 games over to the PS5, I think that would not be a problem right there at all.
Yeah.
PS3, on the other hand, since they had like a different cell processors, yeah, there might be some big hurdles there, but we're just to wait and see.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that on a technical level, with the latest gen consoles, they are computers. They are regular PCs in a sleek looking box. They're optimized as heck. They use the standard architecture. They use standard DirectX. So it's actually getting... I think there won't be that much of an issue just making them backwards compatible, as long as the new consoles are computers as well. But the older generation stuff, it was often very specialized hardware that was made specifically for those systems.
Yeah.
But the reason why this stuff exists is just to make sure that there are no issues, because, I don't know, have you ever heard of those games that have their speed of the game tied in to the frame rate?
Yeah.
So I can imagine, like, maybe some games running into similar issues where they just get hiccups because they're getting too much power into them. But otherwise, yeah, PS4, I think, is almost a guarantee to be backwards compatible at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. PS3, we have to see what they do with that, but if they've been working on this for the past 5 years, 6 years, just about, I would say if they have had total backwards compatibility with all previous systems, I'm pretty sure they'll have it done. So we're just wait and see.
Yeah. And then we have one more patent coming from Sony, and this one is about PlayStation virtual reality. And honestly, I think this one is more interesting because PlayStation virtual reality is, at the moment, by far the most popular way for people to experience virtual reality at their homes.
Yeah.
The numbers are pretty much incomparable. I think they actually have more sold compared to both Oculus and HTC combined.
Yeah.
But this new patent that actually is coming from Japan seems to indicate that PlayStation VR 2 could be wireless. At least to connect to the PlayStation. Which actually sounds, I think, plausible, probable, and actually pretty cool. Would you prefer a wireless headset?
Honestly, since I do have a PSVR, and after using that for a while, I would say yes, I prefer a wireless headset or at least headset that does not require so many freaking wires to hook up.
Yeah. The wires are so bad when it comes to VR at this point.
Yeah.
So, there are obviously two questions here. Now, does this mean completely wireless, or just removing the cable that is connecting the headset to the PlayStation? And I personally would vouch probably just removing the one that connects it to the PlayStation. I think they're going to keep the power cable because otherwise you would be adding quite a lot of weight to the headset with probably a bulky battery.
Yeah, honestly, the way I see them doing this is like PSVR, like the one that they have out right now, has like a power box that you literally have to like hook up to your PS4 and hook up the separate power adapter to the box as well, and then hook the VR up to the power box. So I think with the PS5, when it gets announced, I think they're going to have that built into the PS5.
Yeah, I hope so. That would be a good idea, probably. But that wouldn't make it really wireless, though. So we'll just have to see, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind wireless, but I mean, either or, I just want less wires.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Also, another thing, I hope there's another thing I hope they do too. I hope they get rid of the PS Move controllers and the PS Camera as the controllers for the VR. Because
why?
Honestly, those suck.
Oh, they could probably get something better.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for the Sony part of the show. And now it's time to talk about Google Stadia.
Yes.
Because this was this week's big announcement, and I just gotta say, I was right. It's not a console. It's streaming.
Yeah.
But it's actually streaming that seems to be done in a way that might actually work. It actually might bringing a lot of people. So, quick rundown. What the fuck is game streaming? You don't need a powerful computer to play games. The game is played by computers in a remote place, and you just connect to that server, and it just displays on your monitor.
Yep.
And I will be honest with you, I think the time for this is actually coming. And we talked about game streaming a few times, obviously, as plenty of companies talked about, yeah, we want to do this, whether it was NVIDIA, whether it was Sony, whether it was Microsoft, and now Google. And they teased this with their Project Stream. And now we actually know what it's going to be called commercially. We actually saw a bit of a demonstration. We do know that there are some big studios, some small studios on board. And everything seems to work rather well. So, what was your, afterthoughts after seeing the presentation? What was, your final thoughts, let's say?
Okay. For the most part, yeah, I freaking like what I saw. But I do have my reservations, and the two biggest questions for me are pricing and connectivity, like the requirements to use the same, which that's already been answered for me. But yeah, for the most part, I actually really liked what I saw.
Yeah, so did I. There were, again, a few caveats, the same as you. Pricing is obviously the big one. If they don't price this right, if they price it too high, it actually may delay streaming by quite a while. If they price it right, man, That could be amazing. But before we ask the
Yeah.
pricing issues, we should probably talk a bit more about what exactly they showcased. So they didn't showcase some prototype version. They just showcased how it's gonna work. You can play on your computer through Chrome. And I'm gonna guess there's probably gonna be maybe even a specialized application for people who don't use Chrome. Or is this gonna force everybody to install Chrome? You can play on your cell phone, which will be a fucking huge deal. It means that AAA games are coming to cell phones, and I cannot just the sheer amount of change that will bring to the mobile gaming market is insane. Yeah, obviously we have some AAA games on phone right now, but no, this will completely change the gaming market on phones.
Yeah. I'd also like to mention, they're also coming out with their own controller, but thankfully you don't actually have to use the controller if you don't want to. You can actually use your own controllers to play on Stadia as well.
The only thing, there was one thing I don't think I remember if it was. I know, yeah, they said that you can use their own controller. Can you use their keyboard and mouse?
Yeah, you can.
I think I maybe forgot about that one, but yeah, that would have been maybe a big deal if it wasn't.
Yeah, they actually showed like when they were showing the different devices you can play on. They actually showed the guy playing with the keyboard and mouse on the laptop.
Yeah, right. I watched it like that day when it viewed, and it's been a few days.
Yeah, same here.
Obviously, we're going to need to see much more from the gamer's point of view, because this was coming for developers. This was a presentation for game makers.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what they focused on. They didn't really that much focus on consumer features.
Yeah.
But from developer point of view, this thing actually looks, I would say, sort of dreamy.
Yeah, really. Man.
So first of all, if they do it properly, it could make everybody in the world play on one single platform.
Yeah.
Which would mean no more problems with optimization. You would just make sure it works on Google servers.
Yeah.
Plus, the Google servers will likely have a shit ton of power to work with. So,
That's definitely.
Everything will work at a great visual quality. You will only have to design your game in one single visual quality. No more low, medium, high, or ultra details. Yeah. Everything just straight out of the box works on ultra.
Yeah, and not to mention, they did mention that you can go from 1080p to like 60 frames per second to like up to like 4K 60 to 8K to 120.
Yeah, and obviously in the future they will want to go even higher once that will be a thing. If, again, they survive for long enough.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this might be a feature a lot of people will actually not directly get. But this means Google is becoming a competitor with every single high-end hardware maker in the world.
Yeah.
Apart from AMD, because AMD is going to be running their servers.
Yeah.
But why would you buy a powerful computer if you're not like a creator?
Yeah.
For gaming. Why would you do that?
Honestly, if I had the internet speed right now, I would definitely getting this day one. If I have the speed for it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be getting it, and it will not be like straight away available in my country. So I might use something like a VPN to actually get it. But holy fuck, this could actually change the world of gaming in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like, Just imagine this. There was a lot of talk a few years ago about tablets replacing computers.
Yeah.
Because, for most people's uses, tablets are actually okay. Most people occasionally write an email and maybe write a document for school. Most
Yep.
people don't really use stuff like Photoshop, Premiere, Sony Vegas, or Audacity, or whatever tool you really need serious hardware for. Yeah, I obviously have a $2,000 computer because I'm a gamer and I want my games to look good, and plus I'm a creator and I want to make videos and not have a video encoding take 16 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had to go through that myself.
But why would I do that if everything is done by Google? If
Yeah,
I
really.
just want to play a game, I'll either just buy a cheapo computer for like $200, maybe even less, and a good monitor.
Yeah. Or better yet, just buy a freaking HDMI streamer and get a monitor, and that's it.
Yeah, just buy a Chromecast. Or if you're just gonna be playing, just use your fucking Android phone and buy a cable that
Yep.
connects your phone with your TV.
Sure.
This could actually make phones replace computers. That's why I brought the tablets up, because tablets are dead. Everybody knows that. But smartphones? They are huge and been since Apple introduced the iPhone. And there are a few companies that actually have docks for their computers. I think Samsung is the big one that allows you to use the phone on a desk as a desktop. With this, you could just connect your phone to your monitor and be done with it. You just play through your phone. You can play, I don't know, The Witcher through your phone. Why not? If you don't need the computing power.
Or you can play Cyberpunk 2077 whenever that comes out.
Yeah. So this may change everything. I think people don't yet understand all the implications this technology, if done well, will actually do.
Oh, yeah.
More on the stuff that developers will love. No cheating.
Yeah, no hacking either. Yay.
Developers will love that. And they actually seem to understand that, as actually a good number of initial developers were there at the presentations. There was Ubisoft there. id Software was there. There were a few indie developers there. On top of that, Google actually got their own in-house studio to develop games.
Yep.
So, man, I think we could talk about just the severity of this technology for gaming for hours and hours.
Oh, yeah. And also, one thing I'd like to add, this is not with the actual streaming service, but one thing that really stuck to me that looked really low effort in my eyes was the freaking Stadia logo.
Yeah, but Google does these things with their logos.
Sure. I mean, it just looked like someone just drew an S, like, yeah, there's our logo for Stadia.
Oh, that's modern designers for you.
Yeah.
So, the few caveats. You talked about the internet speed.
Yeah.
And I'm actually seriously impressed what Google is claiming. If it is true, only 25 megabits, not megabytes, megabits per second to stream games at 1080p, 60 frames per second. That's like their recommended. It's not even like the minimum. You could probably play with less, but maybe the best looking games wouldn't work for you.
I'd also like to add, the 25 megabits per second. That was actually during the Project Stream beta test. They've actually got a little bit lower now. So.
Oh yeah. So I think it's gonna be around 20, and I actually before the show I did a little test on my cell phone, and I did this on my mobile carrier, and I'm in the middle of a city, so obviously my reception is very good. But still,
Yeah.
this is my mobile internet speed. 37.7 megabits per second download and 15.8
Wow.
upload. And that's my mobile internet.
Wow.
If I connect to my Wi-Fi and do the test, and this is my slower Wi-Fi, I have two Wi-Fis in the house. I'm actually getting slower numbers on my Wi-Fi in my phone. I'm getting only 31 megabits.
That is still good.
And 50 in upload. If I would go into the other Wi-Fi, which sadly doesn't work on my phone, but works on my girlfriend's phone, she's getting like 80 megabits. And on my cable, I have like 90.
Yeah. You'll be able to use Stadia day one, no doubt.
Yeah, because I'm actually connected through fiber. So, yeah. I could get a gigabit connection if I wanted, but why?
Unfortunately for me, though, I live out in the country, and getting a good internet speed out here is pretty rare.
But a little bit more on the numbers. If you want to play in 4K resolution, you're going to need 30 megabits per second. That's actually not that big of a jump.
No, that is not.
Though there is one more question, and that is latency. And whilst there were some issues when the demo of Doom was tested, but just a quick system restart solved it. And if that works well, and I'm betting Google will spend more time making sure that this is as bug-free as possible.
Yeah. Also, another caveat I just thought of is, since this can be on the cloud, I wonder how they can handle traffic. Like, let's say, for example, the Doom Eternal, whenever that comes out on Stadia, how are they, like everybody's trying to play it, how are they going to handle the influx of players playing Doom Eternal at the same time?
Well, I really don't think the amount of people playing the same game will be big enough issue. It's just going to be the amount of people total playing.
True.
Because, either way, they're sending pretty much the same amount of data.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There are going to be more technical questions like the amount of compression added to the stream, what sort of codec will there be using, etc., etc., etc. But for the most part, I think, how many of us have streamed a Twitch streamer at 1080p? And it worked without that much of an issue. So I don't think there will be a problem there. The potential problem, and I didn't see that much talk about this one, is the latency between the user and the server. In terms of how much input lag is there. But I remember playing in the days where having 100 ping was good, and we played. And even on my phone, I now have 33 milliseconds of ping. And with 5G coming, and I've actually seen tests of 5G performed. It has like 2 milliseconds of lag. That's that's less than what I have on my fiber. I have like 7 milliseconds of lag on my fiber. So yeah, the time for this technology is now, and Google coming into it and saying, "Yeah, we're gonna be the big boy here," and being the first
Yeah.
actually will have a huge impact. Like the market, the share market, stock market, actually made Sony and Microsoft drop after Google announced this.
Oh wow.
So, what do you say we talk a bit more about the technologies that will be coming with this for the developers? As some of them are quite interesting.
Yeah.
So, let's start with Stream Connect. And this is pretty much the ability to share your stream or other streams into either your own or into their streams, respectively. Which, yeah, does sound interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will be used very much. What do you think?
You know what? I was thinking about some good ideas for that kind of thing. And you know, like how there's like a bunch of like horror streams are pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool if like someone made a horror game on Stadia
Mm-hmm.
and instead of there being like AI controlled enemies, the the enemies are actually like other like people that are playing with you.
Oh yeah, I think there are actually few games that try to do that. It's called asymmetrical gameplay, where you have
Yeah,
like hunters and a big monster.
but no, I'm talking about an actual game where instead of having AI controlled enemies, you actually have player controlled enemies all throughout the level.
Hmm. I think
And
that would be a gimmick that would get very quickly boring, especially for the players being the monsters.
true,
Because,
but
like somebody who gets to be the monster at the start of the level would get a lot of fun, but somebody who's like the monster at the end of the level would just sit there half the time doing nothing.
true,
What
but
I could
yeah,
imagine that
thought,
what was my idea was sort of a new genre of strategy. I think it has been done in the past. I'm not sure. Where you would get, like, for example, have just a first-person shooter with, I don't know, 4 or 5 guys playing a regular shooter. I think
yeah,
four
I
would
thought
be
about that
ideal.
too.
And one guy coordinating their attack. Just
Yeah,
being the
uh,
officer at a home base.
yeah,
Because what I think this will get used early on is just the ability to see what your friends are seeing in any
yeah,
multiplayer game. But that thing, I think, doesn't really have that much potential, as when you're playing, you want to focus on your screen and not on other people's screen.
yeah,
Unless your game is focusing on other people's screens. So that's the first technology. The second one, which I freaking loved, but I think will sadly not be used as much as maybe others are hoping, and that's Style Transfer ML, which allows your game to be stylized by just inputting an image, and neural networks will do the rest. And yeah, this thing looked amazing with what it can do. They just showcased a few pictures and how it completely changed the visual style of the game. Some of the visual styles looked unbelievably great. Some were weird. The Pac-Man one was just weird.
yeah, yeah. It was.
Some didn't look like bad, but just okay, I would call them. The problem with this one is I really don't think developers will want to be using it as much as people might hope so. But what do you think of this one?
I think what they'll do is they'll like add the style change to the game as like a template, and then they'll go in and tweak it to however they want to tweak it.
Hmm. So my personal opinion is there will be a few games that will like be, oh look, we're using style transfer and you can have 6 different looks to your game when you buy our game.
Actually, though, I think style changes only works for when you're developing a game. But you can't. I don't think you can actually use it in the consumer side of things.
Oh,
So
I think there will be they will develop the game and have the styles like included inside the game files, like 6 different times, and will just be like a slider which one you want to choose. I've actually seen that in a few games. One that comes to the top of my mind is Gothic 3. You could play like normal, or you could like have it looking like a comic book. So that is definitely doable. But the way I think it will be used by especially lower budget developers is they will just make their 3D models and slap a style on top of it once and never ever touch it again. And anybody who wants to make anything more unique, more artsy, will actually make their own visual style. Because let's face it, that's one of the things that can really, really distinguish your game from others.
yeah.
Which makes me sort of sad because the technology looks actually amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, next one was State Share, which allows you to save a state of the game and essentially create a hyperlink, which you can then share with your friends and they can play at that exact moment. So you can like save your game right before a boss and send it to your friend and compete who defeats the boss quicker.
Yeah.
I honestly think this is just a gimmick that will get pretty boring quickly. What do you think?
Honestly, I think this right here, like, there are like a bunch of like speedrunners and people make challenges out of certain games. So like, let's say, for example, I'm gonna say Resident Evil 2 remake.
Mm-hmm.
In that game, you have like a set amount of ammo and med kits. What people can do with that game is like, okay, let's say I beat this boss with only like a few bullets and 1 med kit, and you beat the boss. You can actually send that save state to your friends to see if they can complete it as well.
Yeah, but I don't think people will be doing that as much as you think. It will be fun to do it like once a week, Oh, look, I got to this boss and I only had 5 health left and I still beat him. Can you do it as 2? But how often will you really do that?
Honestly, like I said, it really comes down to the type of community. Because I really do think, it will not be as widespread, but in some communities, I think this will be a popular thing amongst.
It will be amazing for speedrunners. Obviously.
Yeah.
For speedrunners, it will be the most amazing thing ever. But most other communities, I think it will be. I really think it will just be a gimmick for, as you said, some communities.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last thing, and this one isn't really for developers. This one is for streamers mostly, I think. Crowd play, which pretty much allows streamers to play with viewers.
Yeah.
How many streamers will there be day one of Stadia that will offer you, do you want to play with me? Give me $100. It's one of the Patreon points. Just give me $100 on Patreon and you get to play directly with me.
That'd be a good way to make money.
That's gonna happen. Day one, that's gonna happen. No doubt about that in my mind.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I really don't see much of a use for it, like for the regular consumer.
Here's the thing, though. I remember them saying, at the keynote that like if you see a favorite streamer streaming a game through Stadia, after they get done, you can like click to play with them, and as soon as that game is over with, you can actually hop in there as another player. So I don't know if they're able to control who gets to join them or not.
They will have to offer that. The streamers would revolt if they didn't allow that. Because otherwise, like, they would also. The streamers would get trolls constantly.
True.
And while it would be fun to watch them just get, constantly trolled for the first 4 hours, after that, it's just gonna be boring. Like, yeah, he's getting trolled. He can't play. I'm just gonna go watch somebody else who actually is playing the game because I want to watch the game being played.
True.
And yeah, so that's for the technologies that were showcased with Stadia. And there's one more thing. The controller. What did you think of the controller?
Honestly, I thought it looked pretty neat. And one other thing we forgot to mention, which is a good time to mention now, is on the controller they actually have the Google Assistant button.
Yeah.
Stuck on the game. You can actually say, "Hey, I need help with this," and actually go and pull a video of that same part that you're at from YouTube, so you can see how they do it there.
Yeah, that's their version of cheating. Let's face that. We had some actually answers from Microsoft talking about Stadia. They pretty much said, yeah, we're working on our own stream thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, E3, there's gonna be streaming for Microsoft. No doubt about that. Like, that's not even a rumor at this point.
Yeah. And also, what do you think about the pricing method that they might use for Google Stadia?
So yeah, that's the big question on everybody's mind. What will this thing cost? And I have two possible routes for this in my mind.
Same here.
Either they will sell games. They will sell you access to games. You want to play Assassin's Creed? Pay us for Assassin's Creed and you can play Assassin's Creed through Stadia. Or they will just sell you Gameflix Pass.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they will actually do both.
Yeah. Honestly,
let's start with. Do you agree with they will do both?
Honestly, yeah, I do. Because
let's start with the harder one. What do you think will be the price for an individual game?
Okay, for the games individually, I think they'll give you a choice. You can either go and buy the games for their full price, or you can choose to rent the game for a few days for whatever price. So that's what PS Now does. Is they have, you can go in there, you can like buy or rent a game from them, and you can stream it for however long you have the game for.
That's a good thing. I didn't think about that actually. That's a good point. Yeah, that's something they will probably do. But the thing is, I think they will actually sell the games, like sell at a lower price. Compared to like Steam or just getting a physical copy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rent the game is actually a good thing, and I think the rent a game could be like, what do you think could be the price for rent a game? Let's say for a day.
For a day, honestly, I'd say maybe around $5 to $10.
Oh, so no way! Man, that would be too high. Nobody would rent a game for $10 per one day. I would say like $1.
Mm.
Okay, if you say rent a single game for a day, $10, what do you think will be their monthly fee?
Okay, for the subscription?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, yeah, going back to the rent game real quick. Yeah, I think, yeah, it would be a lot lower. Because, also, I'm going off PS Now here.
Mm-hmm.
And their subscription per month is like $20 per month.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's either between $10 to $30 for the subscription.
Yeah, I'm actually just gonna stick with $19.99 for a subscription. With rent a game for a week, I would say $5 a day. A day would be $1. And if you buy the game, a single one, I would actually say $10. $10 to $20.
How about this? On Google, they could also go to the Redbox models where you rent a game, and each day you have it, they take another $1 away from your account.
Oh, that could be done as well, but I think they will want to have a model where one day is more expensive than a week, and week is more expensive than a month. If you divide it for the time. But I mostly think that they will have really cheap games compared to traditional vendors.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is you will require the internet to play them.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a pretty big difference. Like, right now I have plenty of games to play on my computer if my internet is not working. And that does happen.
Same here.
That does happen.
Same here. Yeah.
Not that often, but it does happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's sort of interesting. That might change when 5G internet becomes a thing, because, let's face it, that's not that often that your mobile carrier has a blackout. At least not here in Europe, where you cannot go 10 miles without encountering a city. Or at least a village. In America, it might be different, though. I don't know.
Shoot, in the past month, we've had two, in my house alone, we've had like 2 internet blackouts, so.
Well, but is that by your mobile carrier or by your internet carrier?
By my ISP.
So, okay, but your mobile phones were still working.
Actually, I don't have mobile carrier right now, so.
Oh, okay. So you don't know.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, I agree with you with the monthly fee. $20 is, I think, fairly obvious. Maybe even less if you like buy a full year straight off the bat. Then it could go to like 15. But we'll have to see just.
Yeah, on PS Now, you can like go for like $20 a month or $120 for a whole year. So.
Yeah, you get to save $40. How much is 120? Yeah, that's actually $10 per year. That's. I don't think they will go that. I think they will go to 180 per year, or maybe 199 per year. That would make it $16.58. And it would make it look like a nice round number. Man. Stadia.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to mention. I really hope they have a free trial.
They have got to have a free trial, at least for a week, for like a week or two.
Yeah, the week is the minimum just to try out whether your internet can handle this. Or maybe just like maybe they don't need necessarily have a free trial. Maybe just like have few demo games that you can try. You know, like one that would be AAA, one that would be AA, and a few indie games. That's also a route that they could go with.
Also, another route they can go with is one thing they could do is like be like Steam and go like, you can try this game out for like 2 hours. After the 2-hour period's up, you actually have to pay for it.
Oh, that could work only for certain games, you know, because there are a lot of games you can finish in 2 hours.
True.
But either way, we will have to keep watching this one because this actually might take me away from being a PC gamer and you from being a console gamer and just make us both stream gamers.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll still get the PS5 whenever it comes out though.
I have one more little piece of news which is sort of related to this. And this is our funny animal at the end. Apparently we have rumors coming from sources inside Walmart that they want to also have their own stream. And it's just hilarious. I don't know. What the fuck?
Seriously.
On one hand, more competition in the market is always good. On the other, Walmart?
I'll say this. Get ready for the stream service battle royale. Who'll be the last one standing?
Yeah. I think actually Nvidia has a good chance of being a big player if done correctly because they have actually been running streaming for a while. Sony and Microsoft will be big players. Google has a good chance of being a king. Walmart is dead already, whether it's true or not.
Honestly, my point on this is I don't like neither Walmart nor Google as companies. I hate Walmart even more. So for me, I would say Google has a better chance at coming out on top.
I would at least trust Google to handle the technical part of this. You know, the servers, the infrastructure. But I wouldn't trust Walmart in that. Either way, let's talk interesting games for next week.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to start. And I'm going to start with one of the best city/state/everything builder there ever was. Tropico, which is coming with its 6th iteration on March 29th with almost full priced release at €49 or $44.99 if you buy it in a pre-order, which you shouldn't do. Don't pre-order stuff. Don't be an idiot, but El Presidente is coming back.
Especially if it's on Steam at the moment.
Or anywhere. But I think most of you guys know what Tropico is. And if you like the series or just the genre in general, Tropico is something you should get.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, what about you? What do you have to recommend?
The first game I got to recommend is Generation Zero, which is coming out on the 26th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
And so what is it?
Man, it's a survival game that takes place in the 1980s in Sweden.
Isn't that such a weird place to have an apocalyptic survival game be in?
But here's the thing, though. And the weirdest thing about this game is you're not surviving against like zombies or other people. You're actually fighting against machines.
Yeah.
So
Like, somebody was really high when designing this. You know what? Let's have a survival game in Sweden in the 80s against robots. Man. Yeah.
Thankfully though, it's not a full price game, but it's still kind of pricey. It's like it's $39.99 US. So
yeah, it's your typical AA game.
Yeah, but it does look really interesting though. I'll give him that.
At least they changed up the survival genre with mechs instead of zombies, because I can't stand zombies anymore.
I can only stand them. I can only stand it when they're actually done right.
Okay, I have a game that's called Shiro 011. And this is just your pretty run-of-the-mill multiplayer shooter. Apart from one mechanic that is here straight from the olden days of Unreal Tournament. Unreal Tournament had this one great feature where you could like put mutators into your game, you know, changing different aspects of it. And one of my most favorite mutators was Instagip. And what this mutator does, whenever you get hit, you die. And this is what this game is. Everybody has pretty much one hit point. Whenever you get hit, you're dead. And while this is something that will not be fun for a long time, it's something that you can just occasionally have fun with. And the game does look decent. I love the fact that it's very, very contrastive. Like, the whole screen is white, and the characters are colored, so it's just about seeing something different than white and shooting at it and hoping you don't die. So yeah, 25th March in 2 days. Sadly, I do not know the price, but hopefully this thing will be at least semi-decent.
Yeah.
Okay, what next do you have as a recommendation?
Final game to recommend is Yoshi's Crafted World. It's another Yoshi game. If you're a fan of the Yoshi Island games, you'll like this game. It's come to the Switch March 29th, and it's a full price game. So, what else is there more to say? It's Yoshi, but this time he's in a cardboard crafted world instead of a yarn world. So, there's that too.
The only thing I dislike about this thing is the price.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise it's gonna be good. It's a Nintendo game. They wouldn't dare to have it bad. It's gonna be at least good, if not great.
Yeah, true.
And I have a game that will be played by people no matter whether it's good or bad, at least in the beginning. And this is a card game, just your typical TCG. But the reason it will be played is because it's coming from Games Workshop and it's called Horus Heresy. And yeah, it's a trading card game set in the Warhammer 40k universe.
Okay.
And while it honestly doesn't look that great in terms of style, there are just so many people who love this world that they will be playing this. You get to play as one of the different legions of Space Marines, and you get to battle other people. And for at least once, you don't have to paint your figurines.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I never played Warhammer, nor Warhammer 40k, the miniature game. I do love the universe.
I need to look into that universe from per your recommendations.
Yeah, it's great. Like, you probably heard the least of the God Emperor of Mankind, right? The giant golden armor guy.
Nope.
Oh man, you should just look at him and just listen to his story. Like, he's lived for like 40,000 years. At the moment, he's been hurt, actually, during the Horus heresy. And just to keep him alive, they're sacrificing like 10,000 humans to him so they can feed him with psychic energy. And the universe is so dark and grim, but so amazingly full of little details. Yeah, I highly suggest you check that.
I'm definitely looking at this. Wow.
And that's my last recommendation. You said Yoshi was your last recommendation, so it's time to slowly bring today's show to an end. And as we do usually, let's chill, because why not? Yep. So you can find me online on YouTube at Kralizec Gaming, where I do reviews of video games. I really need to make a review for We the Revolution, because holy fuck, I love that game.
Go for it.
And on Steam at Kralizec, where I do science stuff and gaming stuff.
Okay, and you can find me on YouTube at Tygergamer, and on Steam at Tygergamer. Right now I'm on a little hiatus due to my internet speed, but I'll be back here as soon as possible.
And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you are watching on Steam, maybe you want to give us a follow and like the post. Either way, be sure to leave a comment with your opinions. Today is a pretty easy opinion. Do you think Stadia will be a success or not? So see you guys later with more gaming content.
Yeah, have a good one.